You read the title right. This era of the UFC is over. Your favorite era of the UFC is over. And I want to tell you why. Because in every single division in the UFC, there is an up-and-coming star who has already taken or is about to take the belt from an old head. I'm going to go through all of them today. Let's just put it this way. I am a Max fan, and I am a Volk fan. But I think I just became an Ilia Topuria fan, and so I want to make you be an Ilia Topuria fan. I want to force you to feel the way I feel right now. I've been a Volk fan for a long time. I love Max. Still, I wanted Max to win. I wish that I could go back in time and make Max win, but Max lost. So, without further ado, my first one today is flyweight. I'm going to start at flyweight, work my way up to heavyweight. So, the first guy is flyweight. I think Kai Asakura, who's 30, is going to come in and dethrone the champion. I think Pantoja's looked shaky before, and I think Kai is an international superstar with the utmost confidence. I think he's highly skilled. I do wonder if he's going to get himself disqualified. I say that because, and I don't know how many of you know this, probably most of you, but if some of you are casuals, you might not know that the unified rules in the United States that the UFC uses are different than some of the stuff that happens over in Japan, for example. So Kai Asakura comes from a background where, like in one championship, Demetrius Johnson's been fighting there for years. You can knee grounded opponents in the head, and you can like soccer kick them and shit. So, yeah, so that might get him disqualified. He might go into like autopilot and just get himself disqualified. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. Next is bantamweight. So right now, Merab is the champion. I think he's 36. That's not right. Merab is, excuse me, as I show how not properly prepared I am. I think Merab is 33. So he's not actually old, right? I think he's a little bit older than O'Malley, who he just beat, who is 30. So this division is actually going the other way. But I think it's about to turn around because I think the first guy is Umar, who's 28. I think Umar might, if he gets the next fight, which it looks like maybe O'Malley is going to get the next fight, maybe O'Malley wins that, and so that's technically a decrease in age. But I think if Umar or maybe Song Yadong fight O'Malley, I think either of them have a good chance. I think Song Yadong probably won't win it for another 4 or so years because he's 26, but he made Peter Yan, who probably should have been the champion, beat O'Malley, allegedly. I think that Song Yadong gave him a hard fight, and I think Song Yadong looked really good. So, given Umar's heritage and his wrestling or anti-wrestling, combined with his striking, I think he beats O'Malley. I think that his fight with Sandhagen made him look nearly unbeatable in this division, while also making Sandhagen look like he was about to make a wish, if you know what I mean. And like I said, Song Yadong gave Peter Yan a good fight. He did lose, but some people had him winning, so those people were wrong, but it's fine. But he has a good 10 years in him before it's over, and I think he would make Merab look absolutely silly on the feet. I think he'd show him what hands like Canelo really means. Next, featherweight. I think Ilya stays on top for a long time. I tweeted the other day that I think the guy that dethrones Ilya at featherweight, we don't know his name yet. I'm not going to go as far as to say he hasn't been born yet, but Ilya's 27. He has 5, 6, 7, 8 more years in his prime. I don't even think he's there yet. I don't even think he hasn't had to go to the ground in a championship fight yet. I mean, he you know, he's tried. He did with Max, but he hasn't had to. And so I don't see him losing for a very long time. I think he might lose if he goes up to lightweight to fight Islam, but yeah, I think that's the only way we even know the name of the guy who beats Ilya. I think it's Islam if he moves up, and yeah, that's it. So next we have lightweight. I think that Arman's gonna win the title. I don't think he's actually going to win in his next fight against Islam, but I think that Islam is either going to stick around, say I've beat everybody, and go full Khabib and retire in the next 2 years, or he's going to move up at welterweight if Bilal is no longer the champion. And if he wins at welterweight, then obviously there's a vacant title at lightweight. If he doesn't move up, he retires. And if he moves up and loses, he probably stays up there because the weight cut's probably getting to be a bit much for him at his current age. So for lightweight, I think it's Arman. He's currently 29. And I think he gets it after it's vacated. So welterweight, the current champion is Bilal. He's old as shit. He's like 36. Let's see. He's 36. So I think Shavkat wins in this next fight against Bilal. I think he defends it once against a guy like, I don't know, I don't want to say a random, but a guy like some stupid shit. Like they're going to give Usman another fight or something, and he's going to whip his ass. And then, or they're going to give a fight to Sean Brady or Leon a rematch. And then JDM, I think JDM is actually going to beat him, who JDM is 28 now. I think JDM gives him a hard fight. I know that Shavkat's this big killer, but I think he loses his invincible aura against Bilal. I think he still wins handedly. I just don't think he finishes him in the first round. And I don't think he strangles him. I think it's like a pretty comfortable UD, probably. Bilal's kind of hard to finish. He's on a 10-fight unbeaten or 11-fight unbeaten streak. So, Next is middleweight. So DDP's 30 right now. He's young. He just took it from Strickland, who's 32. Who took it from Izzy, who's 35. And so, if you need any more evidence that there's a changing of the guard, look at this division. Izzy and Alex, 35 and 36 right now, fought for the belt. Izzy was defending for God knows how long. Izzy turns 33 or 34, gets taken out by his arch nemesis, and then he gets a belt back on a lucky KO. I think Poetan's chin was just diminished beyond belief in that fight because he shouldn't have been 185. He was just doing it to spite Izzy. And then Izzy gets no title defenses in that reign and gets picked apart by Sean Strickland, who's not, he's younger, but he's not a lot younger. But he was just whatever guy came next. I think anybody who came next was going to beat him. I just don't think he was in a place mentally at this point, after fighting for so many years and being on top. I don't think he has the motivation to win anymore at a high level, consistently defending his title back to back to back to back. So DDP's 30, and he could get a title defense against Strickland. I think he handles Strickland. But if his next fight's against Hamzat, I think Hamzat, who's also 30, wins it. And I think that the big thing to understand here in this whole thing, this whole equation, is that young in MMA doesn't mean 24, right? Because there's a lot of guys, like Demetrius Johnson, I think, and this was a while ago, got into MMA at 18. He wrestled in high school and stuff, but he got into mixed martial arts at like 18. That's old, right? And so you can't be 6 years into that adventure after starting at 18, be 24, and then be a world champion. I don't know when Mighty Mouse became a champion. Probably 24, because, that's my luck. But you can't really do that in the UFC, at least. Like, you could have been a Strikeforce champion at 23, or whatever. You could be one of the smaller promotions champion for sure. You can be a PFL. I could be a PFL champion tomorrow. So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah, I think Hamzat takes the belt. I don't know how long Hamzat's going to be able to stay healthy, and frankly, I think he needs to be a light heavyweight. I just don't understand how he stays so consistently unhealthy, if that makes sense. Like, he's never staying healthy. Let's see what he said about his camp. He said his last training camp, like the people he was working with, his team didn't let him rest. And so, excuse me, let's see. But I don't have a lot of faith. He jumped 10 spots to number 3 in the division, behind Adesanya, who's not getting another title shot. He's just not. And Strickland, who's number 1, who, honestly, his bitching on social media makes me think he's not going to get a title shot. Like, he's insecure, and they haven't actually promised him that. To him, they've just, like, said it out loud and then realized that Khamzat beat the piss out of Robert Whittaker. Khamzat just strangled Whittaker, who's 33, but, like, he's an old head in this division, right? Like, Baralho, who's probably maybe Izzy's next fight, is 31. Like, I think he beats Izzy. I think Izzy's gonna retire. Brendan Allen's 28. Vettori's only 30, and Vettori sucks. So I don't know what's up with that, but Paulo Costa's 33. Like, this is a pretty young division, especially for one of the higher weight classes. Like, 185 isn't, it's not 145, where, like, all right, if you're 35 or older, you're out of here. It's like there's so many young guys, and so these divisions are undergoing a period of transition. And so I think it's going to be an interesting sort of element to it. Next is light heavyweight. I think Poatan isn't going to fight Magomed Ankalaev. And I think Magomed is going to be the next champion. But I don't know why. But it feels like Magomed and Alex are never going to fight. I know that Jones is retiring at 309. There's no fucking way that he's going to fight Tom Aspinall. And I think he retires and they do the Alex versus Tom thing. I think Tom wins and Alex never goes back to 205. I think Magomed wins the vacant belt against Jan. I think I looked at the rankings. I don't know who else they're going to put him against. You can't give Yuri a fight because he just got knocked out against Alex. You can't give Jamal Hill a fight. He just got knocked out against Alex. So you go into the top 5, and like Rakic just lost to Ankalaev, so you're not going to give the vacant fight to him. Krylov, I'm pretty sure. Let me look. He just beat Ryan Spann. But like that was in 2023. He just hasn't fought in fucking forever, dude. And then beat Volkan Ozdemir and Gustafsson, and then lost to Paul Craig in 22, and then lost to Ankalaev in 21. So, I mean, maybe he tries to get that one back, but he hasn't fought since 23. Does he even have a fight scheduled right now? Yes. He's fighting Murzakanov. So I guess depending on how that goes, he's fighting him on the 16th of November. So depending on how that fight goes, maybe he goes crazy. I mean, he has 23 first-round finishes. He's a dangerous guy. 16 wins by submission and 12 by knockout. So, like, he's dangerous, right? And maybe he goes crazy and he leapfrogs Rakic in the rankings and tries to get back on Ankalaev. But I just think that Jan probably... I mean, he hasn't fought since he fought Pereira, which is insane. And he doesn't have a fight scheduled. But he went to a draw with Ankalaev. I think and he beat Rakic. He TKO'd him, which Ankalaev couldn't do. And so, I don't know. I think he should get a chance to kind of get that one back. So that's my thought on that. I think Magomed fights someone for a vacant belt and probably wins. I don't think Jan's going to beat Magomed. I think Magomed's probably too good for him now. Yeah. So, and then heavyweight. I think this one's pretty obvious. Like I said, I think John Jones is going to retire, and I think it's going to leave it open. I think the moment John Jones retires, you should just crown Tom Aspinall the undisputed champion, because he's defended the interim belt more times than Jones has defended his belt. I also think that maybe Stipe just fucking sleeps John Jones. Maybe he just fucking sleeps him. I don't know, right? Like, maybe not, but maybe he fucking sleeps him. What a thought. Oh my God, I would love that. Anyway, maybe he sleeps Jones. And then I think Tom doesn't lose for like, he's 31. He legitimately might not lose for like 7 years. Heavyweights go forever. Like, Stipe's what, like 48,000? It was like 452. I'm trying to pull up Stipe's record. First of all, Stipe is the 8th ranked heavyweight. 7th? No, he's the 8th ranked heavyweight. I have no idea why he's getting the fight. Cyril Gane lost, that's fine. Volkov, Pavlovich, Blades, Almeida, Spivak, then Miocic. Guess who's right behind Miocic? Rosenstrike, who just fucking beat Tai Tuivasa, who's like nobody now. Marcin Tybura, who just lost to Sergey Spivak. Derek Lewis, who's he even fighting? His next fight is against somebody who's not even in the top 15. And then Tai Tuivasa, who is probably never going to win a fight again. He's lost 3 straight. Is that 4? 5? 5 straight. His last win is in 2022 against Derek Lewis. He lost to Gane, Pavlovich, Volkov, Tybura, and then Rosenstruik. I don't think there's anybody in this heavyweight division that gives Tom Aspinall problems. I don't think Cyril Gane gives Tom Aspinall problems because he's not too afraid to wrestle. So, like, we saw how much of a cuck Cyril Gane is on the ground. So, John Jones tapped him out in like 2 minutes. Then Alexander Volkov. I think that would be a good fight for Tom. I just don't think he beats him. Pavlovich, I don't think has what it takes anymore. I think he like lost his unbeatable aura against Tom, and then Pavlovich, and then Volkov, excuse me, picked him apart. Curtis Blades, we just saw that. Jelton Almeida, I don't think he's big enough to do what he's tried to do to everybody else. Sergey Spivak, maybe. What is he, 29? 29, maybe, right? He's fucking tiny, though. He's got like a fucking pipsqueak reach. Anyway. And then Jairzinho. Like, if you mean to tell me that Jairzinho is going to beat Tom, I'm going to tell you you're fucking stupid. So yeah, there's nobody in this division that can beat Tom Aspinall. I don't think. Maybe. I don't think so. So, all in all, I think it's a changing of the guard. Changing of the times. Your favorite era of MMA and mine is gone. That's all. Goodbye. Peace.